Hi, it's me, Destiny from It's Destiny Recruiting, and to my dream candidate, I cannot wait to build a long term relationship with you. I started off my recruiting career working primarily with salespeople, and 7 years later, up until this point in 2025, I am loving and doing the same thing. As a sales headhunter, my business, It's Destiny Recruiting literally depends on you, my ideal candidate, someone who has options, someone who's busy, someone who's a top performer. And through my business, what I do is I proactively build relationships with candidates like you to understand your goals, your boundaries, what you like, what you don't like, specific products, stages of companies, founder personality types, the type of VCs or portfolios that you want to work with or you potentially want to avoid. When we meet for the first time, most likely, unless I have an urgent opening that you're a perfect fit for, we will just talk about these things. Where do you want to go? Where have you been? What are you kind of forecasting in the future? And I'll go through my book of business and we'll talk about some of the founders that I've worked with. A lot of these companies are in the process of building their org structure. For example, in late 2024, we were able to place a candidate who was originally interviewing for a manager position in a C-suite position because the founder saw the value in her skills. And what we were able to do is really manage the expectations. In this specific circumstance, the candidate was waiting for a date in which they were actually looking to make a move. The founder had a specific date in mind, and we were able to find a way to make both timelines work by being realistic on what every party would need to finalize the deal, but then manage the expectations on either end of what potentially they'd need to walk away for or prioritize in order to acquire this perfect partnership between founding sales leadership hire, and then founder. My ultimate goal when I meet a candidate is to build that wish list. And if we don't have an idea right off the bat, then I can curate opportunities because I lead with candidates. We will be able to talk about what types of companies that you've admired, what types of companies you'd want to avoid, making it so that our relationship is not transactional. We're not just limited to this job right now, but instead all of the different opportunities that could come across our desk or that I could target based on your expectations. Once I have an idea of what you want and what you don't want, then I will start bringing ideas to the table. I think another huge part of the value that I bring as a niche headhunter and someone who works with both candidate and client alike is not only am I able to sell some of the intangibles about you that are very rarely showing up on a LinkedIn profile or on a resume, your soft skills, what you want out of life, certain examples, because since our relationship did not begin and end with one job, we'll get to know each other very well. Really just bringing who you are, what you want, and what you expect to light with founders who are currently looking to hire or ones who are going to hire in the future as they build their org chart. As you start entertaining conversations with founders, we will talk about what other products, what other stages of companies are out there. So we're not just limited to the opportunities that I happen to have curate for you. We will talk for 30 minutes or so ahead of time in every interview, and then after the fact, just so that you have a sounding board, someone who can understand you more. And with all the feedback that you give to me, I will then regurgitate it back to the founders to get them more excited about meeting you or set clear expectations. So by the time that we're in negotiation with title, comp, and all those special types of things, both parties are educated on what either person needs and what either party is flexible with in order to create a lucrative and lasting partnership. So when you work with me, you're not just limited to one job, one opportunity, but instead a long-term relationship, hopefully to a point where if you decide to be a leader or you are a leader, you are then becoming my champion and my hiring team. I learned so much about my candidates, many of them having met with them 3 or 4 times before we find a job worth even entertaining, and several times before you find a job that you ultimately end up feeling proud and excited to accept because it hits your requirements plus some. I am a challenger at my core, so of course I'm here to take a listening ear as all good consultants or salespeople do. But at the end of the day, I will have a deep understanding of what not only I've seen in the market, but what I know about this founder through my multiple discovery calls with them as well. If there's anything that I can do to clarify, send me an email. The best way to work with me is to send me an email directly, letting me know what your requirements are, what you like, what you you don't like. So as I reach out, we can make sure that it's in alignment and it makes sense for you based on where you're at today. Thanks so much for watching my video. Follow It's Destiny Recruiting LinkedIn page to get updates on jobs, obviously lots of tips on the website, and I look forward to having a long-term relationship based on value and, of course, money. Cha-ching.